I think we can all agree that one of the worst periods in a person's life is probably a breakup. You split up from somebody that you think you know so well, and then they're just suddenly gone. As we're all aware in chat, we all drown our emotions, whether it be happy, sad. We utilize music to help with those emotions, which got me thinking, what is the greatest breakup song of all time? Is it a song that will make you happy on a breakup, or is it a song that makes you feel even worse but makes your feelings validated during a breakup? So this one is going to be very story driven. I've gotten a lot of stories for this because I asked my Discord and my community tab for stories and song suggestions to coincide with this topic. We got a lot of stories, and then we got the paid queue that's open. I'm actually very thankful that a lot of you guys were vulnerable enough to put them on here for this. I was kind of expecting like either being trolled or just like funny breakup stories, because obviously like there are funny breakup stories, but these ones are very, very vulnerable and very sad. So the song suggestion is Headless Horseman by The Microphones. Could probably do All Over the Globe Part 2, but this one might hit the hardest. Me and my ex broke up after 7 years of dating, and after I'd done treatment for lymphoma, I was basically crushed, and just listened to this record and grouper exclusively for basically 5 months. It's inspiring with how Phil was able to make his situation into such incredibly appealing, relatable art. Phil Elverum's wife died and he turned it into real death. That's the only thing I know. Maybe there's more situations. It's almost like your wife dying of cancer makes her a sad album. You're a little shit for that one, for being snarky in that manner. The guitar playing on chords on this album is just beautiful throughout. The thing is with like sad songs during a breakup, one time I broke up with somebody, and on the drive home, I was listening to a lot of emo at the time. I put on Young Thug. I put on Young Thug and Lil B the Bass God, because you can't, sometimes it's like I don't want this beautiful like kind of emotional music to always remind me of this situation. If I listen to Young Thug and Lil B, it's never gonna, it's too stupid to remind me of a breakup. The tactic I employed for my last breakup that I had a while ago, just be like, for lack of a better term, and you'll be fine. I don't find The Microphones as heartbreaking as Mount Eerie personally. Yeah, the lyricism all over this album is absolutely beautiful. And although I prefer a lot of the songs that use like the lo-fi production and the distortion, it's still a very, very beautiful album overall, and definitely worth a listen. It's just it's not a song where I'll go back to the individual songs very often, you know. After a really bad breakup, I crawled back to COF, and this song kind of spoke to me with how the tone of the guitar was. It was on repeat. I learned it on my own guitar, one of the few songs where it catches me in the feels. The person I broke up with used me, physically abused me, lied, made me pay for a Melanie Martinez concert, and told me I couldn't go with them even though I was the one who paid. Right, that's f***ed up. You're probably better off without that individual, to be honest. I love the wind in the background. Yeah, I can see that why that would f*** you up. This is why you gotta thug it out, chat. Young Thug. These sad songs, they ain't gonna cut it. They're just gonna make you sadder and sadder and sadder. I was dating this Ukrainian guy. He got me into like late and post-Soviet music, stuff like me. The Ukraine was attacked. He stopped listening to Russian stuff, asked me to as well, though my fam and I come from there. Fast forward to just after our breakup, I found myself going back to the music. It perversely felt like he had forbidden a part of myself, my heritage, and I was reclaiming it. Even if I've always struggled to connect with it a bit, migrated before I could even talk, and I'm queer in a culture that isn't. Either way, I started listening to Feel Me Again. This song, which is Cyrillic, literally, you know I miss you so much, really defined that time for me. So now I can't listen to them without this on the back of my mind. That's a really like, that's a crazy, like the cultural, geopolitical events. Oh. I love the tones of this already. It's sometimes you need a heavy sad bop to help you with a breakup. Breakups can really grow you as a person though, that's the thing. And this is an example of it. Was able to reconnect with cultural heritage. It's crazy to like be like, yeah, you're not allowed to accept your cultural heritage because of something that's out of your control. I think in terms of relationships, you shouldn't restrict anybody from doing anything apart from something that's like breaks trust in the relationship, obviously like cheating and stuff. If you want relationship advice, frame one, do something silly. That could be taken so badly out of context. Now I've just realized. Not as in like silly as in bad for your health. Oh, good golly. My dad broke up with my mum and in the middle of the argument said, you can go your own way. So I'd like go your own... So I'd like Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. And the lyrics of the song fit quite well with their dynamic where my mum doesn't love my dad but wishes he did. What's that? I absolutely love Windhand. Not really 100% sure what the song is about, but sometime after I broke up with my girlfriend of 1.5 years, I just blasted this album while sitting on some hill. And it just hit hard. See, that's an example of silliness. This is a good breakup song, and the reason for that is it's not overly sad. There's enough like heaviness and edge to it that it's not just like wail in your own like depression kind of sad music like some of the microphones or some like emo or stuff. Got that distortion, it's got that heaviness that will get you, it will get you in your feels, but it will get you going. Yeah, these are tones that will heal you. It's to do with esoteric forces and way and energies. It's like doomy, a little bit stonery, but more ethereal. Better for a breakup. It's got that ethereal nature. Oh my god. Fuck, I don't know if I've heard like a solo within this kind of style of music that I've liked as much as that. That was really cool. A breakup song, but not in the traditional sense. It's more of a energetic, maybe not day one, maybe the second week. It was very hard for me to listen to King Cruel until rather recently. I'd always been a fan, but he was my ex-lover's favorite. They remind me of each other in a lot of ways. And of course, the music itself just reminds me of car rides home listening to him with my ex, or slow dancing to Underclass. We were all just bits and pieces of people we loved and those who loved us. So I love King Cruel in my own time. I also had my first shroom come up to Cellular, so I always felt a bit bonded to this music. That'll do it. That'll do it. You gotta be careful with those shroomies. Yeah, King Cruel's made some harrowingly sad music.
Seeks pride from depths hard to find, forever waiting.
Somebody told me once, like when they found out that King Cruel had a kid, they were like, imagine that kid growing up and like listening to his dad like perform and thinking that this is what normal music sounds like this fucking voice and shit. I don't know. I kind of found that an interesting take, but I don't know.
Don't even know.
He's matured crazily as an artist, but he was so mature even when he started off. Like, you know what I mean? He was already so incredibly mature as an artist. I used to, okay, chat, I'm gonna make him an admission here. When I first got into King Cruel, and I was like, I don't know. I think I got into him first when I was like 15, but when I was 16, I got heavily into him. And I wanted to dress like him, so I was super nervous and super shy all the time. So I'd walk down to the fucking charity shop and like look through like women's clothes to try and find like the shirts that he'd wear. And I always got weird looks. I was never able to pull off his swag. You gotta find your own swag, just like you gotta find your own way. You gotta find your own swag. This is not even a breakup. This is a rejection story. I asked a girl out and got rejected. I knew her for a long time and got friend-zoned. Duality and Snuff helped me get over her. I'm gonna choose Snuff. I like this song. I know what album. I know it's not from Iowa or Self-Titled, because Self-Titled is my favorite album, followed by Iowa. But I don't know. I like some of Slipknot's more like ballady stuff, like the Vermilion. This gets me going. I've never listened to this during a breakup though. I can see why it would help though, because the build-up is sad. It's acoustic with a build-up and then the drop. So if you love me, let me go. As a kid, Slipknot were the coolest thing in the world, because their masks, they were the coolest thing. But they've got to shit. They're a corporate company now. They're never gonna put out anything that's like as emotional as this. They're never gonna put out anything that's as heavy as Iowa, and they're never gonna put out anything that's as unique with as good songwriting as Self-Titled. I wish they put more break beats, almond breaks, and scratches in their latest stuff. I don't think it's cringe to like Slipknot, and I don't think you should be clowned on for liking Slipknot. Realistically, like their first couple projects are really good. Like I still think Self-Titled is incredibly inventive and creative to this day. It's really cool. Iowa's like just a good death metal album, and then there's songs like this where you can't. I don't know how somebody can look you in the eyes with a straight face and say that this is bad. It's like a good ballad, a good heavy ballad. This may sound odd, but my ex literally never wanted to hear any of my music. He thought his taste was superior, and it actually had turned into multiple fights about my mood/attitude and lack of wanting to know him. So I stopped listening to my own music almost entirely to avoid fighting. He also never gave me any alone time. He specifically hated my Joanne Baez, Marty Robbins, and would say if he did give me a chance to play something, that it was depressing and was visibly uncomfortable during my songs. This song is very cathartic for me to come back to after almost 4 years not being able to do so. That's actually just abuse. That is, oh yeah, fucking, I know this person, right? Worked with Dylan, I'm pretty sure. Yoinked the Dylan songs, did she? Oh, she did, didn't she? She yoinked the Dylan songs. No, she's a good musician in her own right, but she did yoink the Dylan song. That's straight up abuse. That's fucked up. Fucked up what they be doing to y'all. If you had the full wash and shit, that shit would probably be fire. Don't sing love. Bob Dylan has a better voice. Silver dagger. Very good voice though. Yeah, that's a really good example of a breakup song, because that is not like a sad breakup song. That's you escaping from what is essentially, I see, as an abusive relationship and being able to return to the music and the art that you love because you're away from that freakazoid. For context, I dated someone last year in March. It was my first ever relationship. It only lasted 2 weeks, but I felt extremely happy in that brief window of time, and they have lingered in my dreams somewhere for the entire duration of our relationship. We gave each other things like bracelets. I wrote a poem for them once, and I was going to write a song. I also gave them an album I really like, Black Amina by Lacuna Coil. After the breakup, they still have the CD, so not only do I associate the album with them, I don't even own it anymore. Chat, let me cook. Hold on. Let me cook for a second. The reason that occasionally you'll feel more sad after a situationship, a short fling, a very intense short romantic situation, or like a short relationship, the reason you'll feel sad, it's not you being sad, it's your fucking subconscious and your brain presenting a FOMO. If you're with somebody for a while, you understand what's going to happen in that relationship. You can kind of, your brain can piece together what might happen into the future. If it's a small, very intense, very like fling or that kind of thing, when it's suddenly over, your brain can't make sense of it. There's FOMO. You place them into a position in your head that's way more positive than they actually probably would be, because you don't have the information to put together. So that can hurt you a lot more. Am I cooking or no? So the motto is date a girl for ages so you don't feel as bad. No, just let things that are going to happen. But if you start feeling worse, you can kind of think in your head, oh, this is the reason, so you can internalize it and actually make sense of it, and you might not feel as bad. You're very negative today, Dave. You've been negative. You've been a negative Nancy the entire stream. This is not my thing, unfortunately, but I can understand the situation. I was not in a good headspace during that time, even before the breakup, and actually a big cause for it. I had horrible self-esteem issues where I'd convinced myself I'm a horrible person. That only worsened after the breakup. I would go out of my way to make life for myself worse, to punish myself for my perceived wrongdoings. These songs were great to confide in. The instrumentation swept me away, and the lyrics felt relatable enough for me to think that there's other people out there who felt similarly to me. There are so many people out there who felt similarly to you. You're not alone in these feelings. Communication ended up being a big way I got out of my depressive spiral. Being more open with my friends and speaking to my ex again after everything died down helped me realize that a lot of the guilt and pressure I felt were problems I was making up. And that's I'm glad you're on the road to recovery with that. It's a hard thing, man. A lot of people struggle from that shit. Brain's a crazy thing. Like I just said, you got your conscious, you got your subconscious. It's very difficult to understand what's doing what and how to control it in a way that's beneficial to your life. The song is I Don't Love by Have a Nice Life. Oh my god. Man, Have a Nice Life. Oh, they're fucking... I saw them live. Their ability to build texture, crazy. This song is probably like one of the most depressed, horrendous songs that you can listen to whilst going through a breakup. Like the way these guitars are layered, the textures, the vocal performance, and then if you actually can make sense of the lyrics, oh my days. I don't know what it is, chat, but there's something about like heavy music when it's like drowned in reverb and made in such a way. Deaf Heaven are really good at it, and Have a Nice Life are really good at it. It actually just like, it makes me want to cry every time. I don't know what it is. It's something to do with that sound. It just triggers my tear ducts and it triggers my emotions in a way. The Day That I Ruined Your Life by Boston Manor. I knew the song because I love the album, where it's from. About a year ago, I had my final exams and I was doing really bad. My best friends at the time basically manipulated me into breaking up with my partner, and I can still see every line of the song with pictures of them. In the last talk with them, I felt deep down that I didn't want to leave, but everybody I knew told me it was the best way I could heal. After a few weeks, I tried to talk to them again, but all they really showed was hatred towards me. It still haunts me how much I had hurt them. I still love this album, but I almost always skip the song and regularly have an emotional breakdown. Are you in the chat now? Because I don't really want to play it if that's like I don't want to play it if you're in here. Doesn't seem like they're in here. We'll play it. Imagine like the story that was told. Imagine like having these feelings connected to a song like this. That must be horrible, man. Yesterday by the Beatles, or Imagine by Yoko Ono as sung by John Lennon. I came home from band practice one day to my then partner yelling at me that we couldn't be together because a boy kissed her and she did nothing to stop it. Blasted the song on the way back from community service at a competition. She got with the same guy a month later. Not fucking surprised about that. Somebody who yells at you for them doing a problem. Yeah, she probably just felt guilty. Yeah, you're better off without that person. Jesus Christ. That is a definition like scumbag freak. This never really makes me sad, this song. I feel like, I don't know, Screamo never really makes me sad, like proper Screamo. Yeah, that's the Zuma breakup anthem if I've ever heard it. This one's a bit odd. Undisturbed by Nick Nocturnal. Specifically, the solo helped me get back on track from the regret and self-hatred after I cheated on my girlfriend. And after that broke up with her, I still feel like shit sometimes. Hey, people make mistakes. Feel bad, yes. A f***ed up thing to do. But you've got to like... Sorry. The album cover's so bad. You gotta like move forward from these things and just live your life, you know. You'll make mistakes, you're probably young. Oh god, that's an awful album cover, Nick. What are you doing with that, man? How are you not a millennial? He's in the same generation as me. Get off the computer and say the magic words for Nick right now. Okay. I can see why this would help, because it makes me laugh. I don't want to be peak. He's like not on YouTube anymore, so I don't feel like I can go after him because he's not doing anything wrong. But he's so like millennial coded in the nicest way possible. But like this album cover, scroll down, the pink guitar, the haircut, just everything he does, man. He's like only like 3 or 4 years older than me. Okay. That's enough of that. I'm glad that helped you get back on track, man. Good shit. Let's go. There we go. We had some beautiful breakup songs. A big range there. Some songs that were really sad. Some songs that were kind of happy, goofy. When you're going through a breakup, everybody's going to need different things. But I think we had a wide range of different kind of songs that will help you through a breakup. So if anybody is going through a breakup right now, watching this video on stream, I hope this helped somewhat, because I know it can be horrible. No goofy things to say. I don't have anything funny to say, man. I'm not funny.